Hey guys, what is going on? Dylan here. Got another build for you. Today we're going to be focusing on the Void Warlock build, which I know I've done one of these in the past, but I think at this point we've truly perfected the build. This is my favorite build in the game by far, and I think it is the best Warlock build currently available, and that is including over something like Sunbracers, constant grenades, constant devour, constant ad clear. This thing is fantastic. So before you jump on me, I do use Nothing Manacles for this build, but also Nezarec Sin. I've come around on that exotic. There's nothing wrong with Nezarec Sin. It's also a fantastic option for this build. I just think there's pros and cons for each one, which I'll get into in a second. The one main thing, or the one main component of this build that I think you should have is the Word of Crota hand cannon. This thing is a beast. It's basically a legendary void version of the Sunshot hand cannon. If you put Dragonfly and destabilizing rounds on it, this thing clears just hordes of enemies. I mean, as you can see in the clips above, it's just melting giant groups of enemies. And then especially, too, if you get a grenade kill, which you'll constantly have grenade energy, you'll get volatile rounds, which just, again, adds to just the crazy ad clear that this weapon has. Okay, so Nezarec Sin, let's take a look at that. So the thing with Nezarec Sin is you get one grenade charge, right? But as long as you're getting void kills with, again, with Word of Crota, it's really easy to do, especially with large hordes of enemies, you're getting a buff called Abyssal Extractors. With that, you get a increase in grenade energy, melee energy, class ability energy, I think maybe even super energy, correct me if I'm wrong there, which is a buff that goes up to 20 seconds, and I think it's like 300% of a buff to grenade energy, so you do get your grenades back pretty routinely with Nezarec Sin. That's why it's such a great option. The only thing that I have a problem with is there's a lot of wasted energy, if that makes sense. If you don't throw your grenade out immediately, you're capped at that one grenade, so you're not getting any energy back towards that. Whereas, for example, Nothing Manacles, you know, you kind of have like an overfill or whatever towards your second grenade. But Nezarec Sin is fantastic. You get your grenades back very routinely, where it's not typically a problem. You just obviously have to get that Abyssal Extractor buff in order for that to be a thing. So it's a great option. I have nothing against it. But for example, with something like Nothing Manacles, you always have a second grenade charge, which can come in clutch for certain situations. So I don't know which one I'm going to use. I like both of them. I like Nothing Manacles. When you have the mods that I have for like picking up orbs gives you grenade energy. You pick up void breaches that give you grenade energy. Getting melee kills gives you grenade energy. Like, it's not really a problem in the first place. It's doing the exact same thing that Nezarec Sin is doing. So anyways, let's look at the build itself. So obviously we're going to be using Nova Bomb Cataclysm. You can use Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Pocket Singularity, and then Scatter Grenades, which is the lowest base cooldown of any grenade, and it's a very underrated grenade in my opinion. For the aspects, we're going to be using Feed the Void, which gets you your Devour. It improves your healing and your grenade energy, so big one to have. Definitely have Feed the Void. And then Child of the Old Gods. I love Child of the Old Gods. It's just another way to weaken enemies, and it's one of my favorite aspects out there. For the fragments, Echo of Expulsion, Echo of Harvest, which is going to be a lot of weakening, so definitely need that. Echo of Instability. And then the final one is going to be Echo of Undermining. So lots of weakening, lots of creating orbs and void breaches. And then, yeah, you're just spamming your grenade, and you're using your Word of Crota to just explode everything and weaken everything in an area. And I mean, that's what it is. It's just you're spamming your grenade using Word of Crota to add clear and make, I mean, just the explosions, making everything volatile. And obviously you're going to have Devour. As long as you're getting a kill with a grenade, which you'll constantly have grenades, you're going to have volatile rounds. Now you can use other void weapons on this build, but I just really think this Word of Crota, it truly shines. And as far as mods go, I would use mods that create orbs of power. So, for example, like your Siphon mods, you could use Fire Power, and then transforming those into Innervation, which is like picking up an orb gives you grenade energy. You could also use things like Impact Induction or Bomber, just any way that you can get grenade energy just by using the build in general. So I will leave the dim link in the description below. If you guys have any questions, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Love y'all.